Ian Blackford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and can I thank the Prime Minister for an advance copy of her statement. Though I'm left asking myself, is that it? Is that all you've got, Prime Minister? Because nothing has fundamentally changed. It is a wish list, with little more than 24 hours until this House votes on the Prime Minister's deal. The Prime Minister comes back completely humiliated. The letters published between the UK Government and the European Union reveal that the Prime Minister has utterly failed to get the concessions she promised. The EU letter explicitly insists there cannot be any renegotiation of the backstop or the withdrawal agreement. Mr Speaker, the EU letter states we are not in a position to agree to anything that changes or is inconsistent with the withdrawal agreement. The Prime Minister is simply in fantasy land, presenting her statement as bringing changes when they are not. Mr Speaker, this government must stop threatening no deal. It is time to face reality. Extend Article 50 and let the people decide. And let me say this to the Prime Minister. In Scotland, people know that it is the Tory government dragging Scotland out of the European Union against our will. It is the Tories treating the Scottish Parliament with contempt. And it is this Prime Minister and this Tory party that continues to silence Scotland's voice and sideline our interests. Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister this morning said, what if we found ourselves in a situation where Parliament tried to take the UK out of the EU in opposition to a Remain vote? People's faith in the democratic processes and their politicians would suffer catastrophic harm. And yet, she is demanding precisely that in Scotland, taking Scotland out of the EU in opposition to an overwhelming Remain vote. To people in Scotland, the Prime Minister has made it clear that time and time again our voices are not to be listened to. The Prime Minister talks about respecting the results of referendums. The same Prime Minister who voted against Welsh devolution, who voted to wreck the Scottish devolution referendum as well. Mr Speaker, this is a defining moment. The people of Scotland know more than ever that what comes from a Tory government that we did not vote for. So why does the Prime Minister continue to ignore Scotland's voices and Scotland's interests? Why is the Prime Minister so petrified of allowing the people decide? Now we know the facts. And if she's not, will she now do the right thing? Extend Article 50. Let the people decide.
Minister. I say to the right honourable gentleman that the people across the United Kingdom did decide. They decided in June 2016. They decided that we should leave the European Union, and I believe it is absolutely right that this government is intent on committed to delivering on the vote of the British people. And he talks about the interests of Scotland. Of course, as he knows, the interests of Scotland are best served by ensuring that Scotland remains as part of the United Kingdom. And if the SNP is so clear that a politician should listen to the voice of the people, then the SNP should listen to the voice of the Scottish people expressed in the referendum in 2014 and abandon the idea of independence.